Hi everyone, welcome to Channeling Love. I'm Diane and this is your angel message for today. So first of all I asked for a number from the little book of daily guidance and I got 77, the waiting game. And it says there are great lessons to be learned in waiting. Sometimes things that seem stuck are stuck for a reason. Go with the flow and resist the temptation to push too hard. Breathe, meditate, release attachment and wait. All will become clear very soon. So it's about patience, and there are a lot of us who are waiting for something, waiting to hear about something, or waiting to put something into action. So I'm going to focus on that for today. So if that happens to be you, if that resonates with you, then this is your message. And it's really important to remember that sometimes while we're being patient, we discover other things that we wouldn't have discovered had we rushed ahead. Sometimes while we're being patient, we discover a better way of doing things, or someone else gets involved who is supposed to be a part of the project, or we find out that something is faulty with the project or the place, the home, the situation, the job. So it always works out well, and it always turns out to be a good thing that we waited. So it's a good day to ask ourselves, how is this happening for me rather than to me? Okay, so the first card got is creative writing. Okay, that one comes up quite often. Creative writing. So for some people, this waiting game, this thing that you're waiting for could have something to do with writing, or it could be that you need to do some writing while you're waiting, that will help you to structure your thoughts, that will help you to stay calm, that will help you to gain a better understanding of why things might be held up. If this is about waiting that's connected to traditional writing, it could be that you've sent a manuscript out to agents or publishers or whoever, theatre agents, and you're just waiting to hear back, and you're being asked to just breathe, stay calm, be patient. And if you need to act, to be proactive, don't be afraid to plan when you're going to take action. You don't have to be completely passive, but in the meantime, just be patient, just wait. People have lots of things to do. Everyone's got lots of things on these days, and it might just take a bit longer, in these crazy times, for people to get around to doing things or responding to things. So what else do we have? Spiritual understanding and the waiting game. I would say it's time to really understand that very deeply, that sometimes when things are held up, they're held up for a reason. I'm going to pick a couple of cards from the original angel cards now. I don't know if you can see that. Let's see how that informs this need to wait and be patient. We've got depth and adventure. Okay, so there is a great depth that can actually be experienced at certain points in waiting to put things into action, waiting for things to come to fruition, or waiting to hear news. A greater depth of understanding about what it is that we're pursuing, what it is that we're trying to achieve. It gives us more time. For example, let's say it was a piece of writing. If you haven't heard anything for a while, in that time, let's say you've sent a 3,000 word sample and a first chapter, a synopsis and a first chapter, or 3,000 word sample and a synopsis, or whatever, for a fiction book. You might actually, while you're waiting, discover how to approach the writing of the first few chapters. You might discover that you want to actually do some rewrites. And this can apply to life. This can apply to anything, any venture. It can apply to a house move. It can, you might discover, if you dig deeper, let's just say, in into all the paperwork, you might discover that there's something about that home that's not quite right. Something comes up in the survey, or if you're renting, it could be that you find something out about the area, or you find out a bit more about the contract or the landlord or something. There's always something that happens that gives you a bit more depth while you're waiting. You also, having adventure. Try to see this waiting period as an adventure, a time of discovery, a time to find things out, a time to actually enjoy the waiting rather than seeing it as a hindrance or something to make you feel really antsy and impatient. See this as your time of exploration. Okay, so what else do we need to know, Spirit? What else does the collective need to know about a potential period of waiting? What else do we need to know about patience? Okay, a wonderful surprise is coming. Oh my goodness, I felt that in the heart chakra. And I suddenly felt how that relates to my situation. Something, anyway, I'm not going to go into it. So let's say you're waiting to hear from someone, and it turns out that the person that you're waiting to hear from is not actually the person that is for your highest good, but then you hear from someone else, and it turns out to be incredible, beautiful, wonderful. It's that sort of energy. And if you apply it to a job or to a publishing contract or something of that nature, you might have gone after a thing that's not quite right for you, or if you've gone after several different things but you really want this one particular thing, something else is going to come just out of left field, just almost out of the blue. The thing that you hardly imagined was going to happen, the thing that's better than all of them that you just did sort of off the cuff thinking, why not, what have I got to lose? Something of that nature. So just be patient in this waiting time and try not to push too hard to open a door that Spirit doesn't want necessarily to be opened. Now, when I say that, I hear people screaming, but I thought we had free will. Yes, we have free will. But if you've asked your guides for help at any point in your existence, in this incarnation, they will help you, and they will sometimes guide you quite strongly. And your higher self is one of your guides. So, whoa. Let's just stop for a second and digest that. Sometimes stuff that I'm saying is actually kind of semi coming through me rather than from me. And I just heard that and thought, wow, of course it is. Your higher self is one of your guides. So your higher self already knows what's for your highest good, where you're going to be happy, or where you're going to not be pushed around or challenged too much, or where you're going to receive just the right amount of challenge. If you've asked not to have any more challenge for a while, but you just want to be happy and settled somewhere, then your higher self knows where that's going to happen, or who that's going to happen with, or what's going to be destructive and what's going to be constructive in your life. So even more important that we have that patience. Wonderful surprises coming. I love that. I think that's my new favourite card. Let's have one more card from this deck and then I'll do a quick pick a card. So we have Nature is Calling You. So while you're waiting, a good way to relieve some of that stress is to go for a nice long walk in nature, or a short walk. If you can just be out in nature, it can help to relieve some of that jangled nerves sort of feeling. Okay, let's see. I'm going to use these cards as well. The soul help. I can't remember what they're called exactly. Okay, so I'm asking for a card for groups 1, 2, and 3. So you can stop the video if you like and meditate on what your group is. I just heard stop. Okay. So group number 1. What do you most need to know about a potential time of waiting for something to happen? Of course, if you're not waiting for anything, this isn't your reading. If it doesn't resonate, it's not for you. But if you are waiting for something, waiting to hear about something, waiting to move forward with something, group number 1, your guides want you to know that you are entering a really important phase of truth. Trusting your truth. Enter the temple of your truth. So there is something that could be misaligned about the things that you're going for or applying for or wanting cerebrally, from the mind, to move towards. The soul could be calling you to a greater, higher truth, to something else. It may not be quite the right circumstances or the right home or the right job or the right person for you. May not be, okay? Just put that in there. Disclaimer. Always trust your highest truth. Trust yourself, trust your heart, even trust your mistakes, trust yourself to learn from them, because ultimately there aren't any, okay? But trust yourself and know that you are actually being called to enter the temple of your truth and learn to value it. Really learning to value your truth is important for you at this time. And so the extra time that you're being given, because it is a gift, because rather than rushing into something that turns out to be wrong for us, we are gifted the extra thinking time. How amazing is that? Rather than rushing in, take time to search your heart and ask yourself whether you are really in alignment with your highest truth in going after something of one of the things that you're going after at the moment. Group number 2. What does group number 2 know about the richness to be found in this waiting time? You cast a spell with your existence. This comes up a lot. You cast your spell with your existence. So while you're in this waiting time, group number 2, try to remember that something is always happening. Even if it feels as if there's nothing happening, something is always happening. When you wield magic, when you're a light worker, when you're a light being, when you're on this earth with all of this divine love and light flowing through you, you are always causing something to happen, even if it's something subtle, even if the thing that you are causing to happen is a redirection onto the right path. Just let that happen. Understand that there is richness to be found in each moment, even in those seemingly quiet moments. Okay, group 3, what do you need to know about this time of waiting? Have courage, awaken the warrior of light within you. Group number 3, it's possible that the thing that you're waiting to hear about requires a little bit of action. You're the only group that is getting that message. That is possible that you do need to follow up on something. And if you really, really believe in this goal as something that you really want, then maybe it's time to not only plan when you're going to take that initiative, but to actually make that phone call, send that second email or third or whatever it is, and just, find out what's up. Okay? Right, that's it for today, everyone. Thank you so much once again for being here and for connecting. And thank you for shining your light as well. We will be back again soon. Bye.